Please welcome Hernan Zini, Mary Jo Moyo, and Eric Briggle.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to our session. Exciting day. How many of you have been on today's introduction? Great. Well, we're very happy to be here and share with you and learn how easy it is to use Amazon Global Logistics to ship cross-border directly into the Amazon network and help you this way simplify your supply chain. But before we start, let us introduce ourselves. We are just here a few members of the Amazon Global Logistics team. My name is Hernan Zini, and I'm a director for Global Logistics.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mary Jo Moyo. I'm Director of Customs and Trade.
And I'm Eric Briggle, Director of Supply Chain Technology Solutions.
I would like to just start by sharing with you, to set the tone of this session, that we have heard from you that managing the supply chain is complex and challenging. We did a survey in 2022, and you told us that 43% of you think that the supply chain is the biggest challenge in your organization. And 50% of you believe this is one of the areas where you can get competitive edge when it's done properly. We know that the supply chain constraints have been improving. The last 2 years have been quite challenging. Hope we never go back there. But there are still many decisions you have to take today to make sure that you move your products in the most efficient way. And we are here today, and we are excited to be here with you to share how Amazon Logistics is helping you with these challenges. A quick description of the agenda today. We will tell you very briefly what is Amazon Global Logistics, for those of you that have not used it before. We will share some of the details of our ocean shipping solutions. Mary Jo will come back to the stage to talk about customs and our smart import strategies. And later on, Eric will tell you how simple it is to create a booking with us. I will come back to the stage after that to wrap the session, and we will have some time for some questions and answers. So we look forward to hear from you. And talking about that, if you have not done so yet, make sure you can download the Accelerate app. And within the Accelerate app, you can use the scanner to look at this QRC code if you want to add any Q&A during the session. This is a live Q&A tool, and you can do it anytime during the session. So at the end of it, we have all your questions, and we'll try to address as many as possible. Let me start by telling you what is Amazon Global Logistics. In a very simple term, we are a cross-border shipping solution that inbounds directly into the Amazon network. And we have all the right capabilities to do this. Origin services, we contract ocean services, we have customs capabilities, and all the destination services that we need to move your goods end to end. You know that in Amazon, we love acronyms. I used to struggle with that word, by the way, if you wonder about my accent, I'm from Argentina. And you know, we hear during this presentation many times referring ourselves as AGL. That's for Amazon Global Logistics. A little bit of history about us. We started as a need to manage the complexities of our retail business. The same complexity that you're facing every day, we learned very early that it was better to take it in our own hands. And that's how we started to grow Amazon Global Logistics to manage our direct import for the retail. And as we start to grow and scale capabilities and complexity, we realized that the same offerings that we have for our retail business can be extended to all of you. So you should have great comfort on knowing that we're trusting the same capability for retail for all of you. We help Amazon sellers like you ship inventory, whether you have a lot of goods or partial goods to fill one container or less than container load, we can do that for you. And you might prefer to have different services speed. We have fast ocean services, we have standard ocean services. So whatever your speed preference is, we can do that. And we ship all different sizes of products. So we ship sort, non-sort, and heavy bulk. If your shipping needs are from mainland China and Hong Kong to United States, United Kingdom, and Europe, we can do that for you. And you'll hear me later saying on the presentation, we can ship directly into the fulfillment centers, or we can ship now as well to AWD, our storage solution. Like any other Amazon offerings, we are already integrated in Seller Central once you sign up with our products. And we have another booking engine called Shipper Central, and later on you'll hear from Eric about how easy it is to create bookings on that platform. Another interesting fact about Amazon Global Logistics, we've recently been ranked the 8th largest logistic provider as measured as NVOCC, and I'm not gonna get too technical on what that means, but really what I wanna take away from this point is that we are not a small fish on the sea. So our size allowed us to create efficient cross-border solutions that we can make extensive to sellers of all sizes. So it doesn't matter how big or how small your business is, you can leverage our company scale to move your products. Now that you know a little bit more about us, let me tell you how Amazon Global Logistics can reduce the complexity for you. When you ship with AGL, you benefit from a complete end-to-end solution that inbounds directly into the network. So you don't have to worry about each step of the journey. We offer fast and reliable shipments with competitive, all-inclusive pricings. And all our solutions have integrated customs built into that. And all of that can be achieved through a simple booking and tracking experience. We make it easy for you to book and manage your supply chain from beginning to end this way. Talking about fast and reliable services, you can benefit from our reliability of 84% year to date. So let me unpack this a little bit. When you create a booking with us, we will surface an estimated arrival time for you to the fulfillment center, so to the buildings that are inbounded. And year to date, our reliability is 84%, meaning that 84 of our total shipments have arrived at or before the promised date that we give to you at the time of booking. Now, this includes all the different anomalies that could happen in the supply chain. Sometimes there are vessel cancellations, blank sailings, could be labor disruptions, and a lot of things could take place. So these numbers include all of that. And while we are very proud of the progress that we have made, we know this is very critical for you to plan your supply chain. So we continue to work very hard and diligently every day to improve this metric. We offer different service speed, as mentioned, fast ocean, standard ocean. And just to give you a bit of an insight of the level of details we go to create products for you, when you ship fast ocean with us now from South China to LA, we have partnered with carriers that have a very good reliability and very good speed on their ocean freight. And we have reserved a section of the vessel. If you see the picture of the vessel, imagine one of those sections, they are all Amazon containers. So you actually travel side by side in great company. And when that ship arrives to the destination, we take that section of the vessel and we put it on a pile that is fully dedicated to Amazon. This enables us to use our dedicated fleet of chassis and drivers to come in and out the port very effectively once the containers are cleared from customs. And that way we can move them very, very fast. It's literally ants' job, but very fast ant jobs. So in order to make sure that we can arrive to the buildings very fast, we've been doing a lot of work this year to automate our appointment systems into the Amazon buildings. And as you know, in shipping, things can happen at any given time. Supply chain is full of surprises. And as I said, I used to work on ships. Ship happens. And ship happens. Ship. So my accent sometimes can be tricky. So the good news is that our operation team is constantly monitoring all of these logistic providers that we use and our own network, and we can anticipate delays. So whenever we have an opportunity to replan your container, we will do so. And we will do that at our expense. So we will always be looking for ways to change if we have to change. Obviously, we prefer not to do that, but we have those capabilities. Talking about that, this year, we also been shipping, as I mentioned, we ship in sort and non-sort. And this year, we have seen a lot of demand for our non-sort shipments, which that was great. And it's great to see that you trust us with that. I had to admit, it was not without pain. We reach our capacity in our dedicated inbound buildings, and quickly we have to expand that. We were actually in the process of doing that, but your bookings came a lot faster than what we anticipated. So I'm happy to report now to you that we have complete expansion of our non-sort inbound buildings. We moved from 2 buildings to 4 buildings right now, including, for the first time, a building on the East Coast, on the Port of Savannah. And not only that, but now we have the technology to very quickly scale to more buildings. So if we see the demand coming up, we can partner with 3P logistics providers that have the capabilities and bring our technology there to receive your goods, and from there spread it all across the US. So we're very happy to see that those progress has been made. A lot of these improvements has been made this year. So if you have tried us before, or if you want to learn more, I will recommend you to try us again and learn about all of these, because I believe sincerely that you'll be very pleased with the results that have taken place. But we are not done innovating on this space. We know how critical it is for you to have a fast and reliable service to plan your supply chain. And this is why you probably hear this in pretty much every presentation these days, because it's a very key part of the product. Now, let me switch to another topic that I think is also important for you, and it's pricing. At least I believe that's important for you, right? Mm-hmm. When you book with Amazon Global Logistics, you enjoy all-inclusive pricing. We know sometimes that when you compare prices in supply chain, it can be very daunting and very challenging. It's very hard to compare apples to apples. Sometimes you could be using a disaggregated supply chain, so you have to put all the prices together, or even when you have an integrated solutions, you get a lot of add-ons at the end of your shipment. It's almost like using a discount airline. You never know at the end of the day what will be the price until you end up paying all of it. Now, knowing this is where Amazon Global Logistics offers a competitive, all-inclusive prices that includes all the services, all the origin destinations and export fees, all our ocean freights, fuel surcharges, the custom fees that we have to do to clear the products at destination, and all the destination delivery service to move your container from the fulfillment center, from the port to the fulfillment center. Now, before I have our legal team running into the stage, let me just say a few things. There are a few exceptions. For instance, if a product goes to an extensive customs exam, sometimes the regulatory authorities impose additional fees for those services. It could be an additional expansion, might require to rework your product. So that is a little bit different on the fees. But what I do want to emphasize that on a normal day-to-day business, if your containers get delayed, could be inbound constraints because there is a lot of volume coming, could be port disruptions, any demurrage delays is in our accounts. You will never see an extra $1 in your bill. And I think that's a great comfort. And I think it's very important that for you to know that we trust our speed and reliability so much that we are willing not to charge extra for that. And I think that's also a great incentive for us, besides the incentive to make sure that we fulfill and we deliver on the promise, to make sure that we can move your ships fast and reliably. Now, talking about pricing, I'm very excited to share with you two very unique promotional pricings that we have. These prices became effective in July 1st. The first one is shipping to the East Coast. Now, when you ship with Amazon Global Logistics to the East Coast, it is actually cheaper than shipping to the West Coast. I don't know any other logistic providers that offer this in today's world. And you say, why will I ship from Asia to the West Coast, to the East Coast? Well, I can give you three very simple reasons. Number one, enables you to diversify away from the West Coast. We know they can get congested, particularly during peak times. As my grandmother used to say, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. When that basket travels on a ship across the Pacific Ocean, I think it's particularly important to diversify, and having goods going on both sides of the country could be a good way for you to manage any risk that can be disruption in the supply chain. The second point that I will make is that, as you probably know, a large part of your products are consumed on the East Coast. And when the typical ocean freight services takes 7 to 10 days longer to get, for instance, to New York compared to Los Angeles, once the container arrives there, we can move it very fast into the fulfillment centers in the East Coast, so you are regionally or locally in stock at that time. So at the end of the day, when you look at the total speed, there could be benefits why you want to consider moving to the East Coast. The third one is price. As I mentioned to you, we offer a price that is lower. As a matter of fact, this price is 15% lower than shipping to the West Coast currently. Do you like that? Yeah, love that? Great, we love that. And we can see that because the bookings to the East Coast has been coming up very strong since we launched this promotional service. And we expect it to keep it for some time because we really want you to get used to the idea of going to the East Coast. You have heard in Amazon that we are evolving our systems into a regional network. And in a country as large as the United States, probably the best way to move goods is to arrive by ships close to the consumption center. Now, this requires sometimes splitting shipments, and when you start splitting shipments, you create complexity, you can elevate costs, and when all of that happens, it becomes very daunting. So right now, we are in the process of building the capabilities for the future to enable just that, to enable to inbound in multiple regions. But while we do that, we are taking many steps into that process. And this is promotional price to this cost is one more step on that direction. We want you to try the service. We want you to get comfortable going to these costs and see by yourself all these benefits that I mentioned. And I think will be a very good proposition. Now, the second discount, and I think I'm very excited about that because you heard the announcement today of Supply Chain by Amazon and all our new capabilities about our storage solutions. We have a very competitive price when you ship to AWD. We are not going to talk in this session about the benefits of shipping to AWD because there is a general session coming up this afternoon. We do encourage you to attend. But what I can tell you is that to further reinforce the benefits of the integrated supply chain and use our storage solutions, we have introduced a promotional price to AWD. When you ship now to AWD, you can save up to 25% compared to our other shipping options directly into the fulfillment centers. So this, I think, is do you like that? You like the idea? Mm-hmm. Great. Good. Just checking if you're awake. OK, good. Great. Now, there is only one thing that I think our sellers love just as much, our customers love just as much buying your products in Amazon. Anyone? Anyone? Well, that is actually how fast we can deliver to them. You hear today on the general session that the speed matters, that when you have a faster delivery, that tends to generate more sales. And for us to be able to do that in such a speed, we need to have sufficient inventory in our hands. And to have sufficient inventory in our times enable us to spread that inventory across the United States in many fulfillment centers, so they can be close to your consumers. So when they click, we can be there. Actually, as a matter of fact, in my household, this became a new sport, just to buy and open the door to see if it's there. We haven't got there. We haven't got that fast yet, but it's coming, maybe. But I think the point is that if we don't have sufficient inventory, we cannot spread it. If we cannot spread it, we cannot do it fast. If we cannot do it fast, the speed deteriorates, and that can impact sales compared to maybe another seller that has more inventory in the network. So that creates a new dilemma for you. If you have too little inventory, that can impact the spread and the speed of delivery. If you have too much inventory, you know that you get exposed to additional FBA fees. And we know, as a matter of fact, that's not something that you like very much, right? So the good news is that we are here to help you with that. We have different ways to manage that. And what I was trying to show in a very simple ways, there is two ways you can manage this complexity. Some of you prefer to ship directly into the fulfillment centers. You might have a mature product with very steady consumption. You know your seasonality. So you're very confident that you know what's going to happen tomorrow with that. And you need an efficient, reliable, steady service that can get you there in time, every time. And shipping directly to the fulfillment centers with Amazon Global Logistics, that's exactly just that. Now, on the other hand, you might be introducing a new product. You could have seasonal products. You could be buying in bulk at origin to save costs, and then you need a place to storage. Whatever your needs are, you might need a solution that retains that inventory for you in a cost-effective way. And now shipping to AWD offered just that, and more, as you will learn today on the session. And from there, that can be replenished directly into the Amazon network, so you have sufficient inventory all the time. And by the way, this is not a binary solution. It's not that half of the room needs to ship directly to the fulfillment center and half will ship to AWD. Many of you find yourself that different parts of your products need different solutions at different times. Even the same product might change during the life cycle of the product. But the good news is, it doesn't matter what your needs are. We have you covered. And you know that you can book with us to take you directly to the fulfillment centers or to AWD, with the peace in mind that all our prices are all included and will not surprise you with the end bill. at the end of the day. Now, let me just tell how all this comes together. Here you can see an example of what a typical supply chain can look like. So before using AGL, you might have to book with different providers, logistic providers, your pickup services. You have to arrange the customs, exports. You have to arrange your ocean freight solutions, imports, customs in the destination services, and all the destination services to bring it to the fulfillment center. I don't know about you, but I'm just tired of talking about that. I can't imagine what it could look like trying to manage this on the day-to-day. And even when you find providers that give you all of this, you never know what the end pricing will be at the end of the day. All of this takes coordination and time, and Amazon Global Logistics can help you do this, all with the simplicity on one booking. We will coordinate the entire journey for you. And at the time of booking, we will surface a very transparent estimate time that is informed based on our actual performance. Now, I would love to say that this is artificial intelligence because that's a new fashionable word, and it's nice to put it. No, our promise is not based on artificial intelligence, but this is machine learning. What it means is that we have a computer constantly looking at all of our operating metrics and all the inputs that we bring about vessel schedules, slides, and everything. And based on that, we inform the promise that we give to you. So I think that's important, and that's how we can ensure that we can offer a good reliability and a good promise. Now, you also know that each step of this journey is all included on your price, so you pay what you book. It is as simple as that. Do you like that? Yeah? Great. All right. And today we announced Supply Chain by Amazon. We are very excited about this. AGL, Amazon Global Logistics, is one of the many Amazon capabilities that are part of this solution. So far, you've been able to book our services a la carte, but right now, we're going to be integrating more and more all these services, starting with our storage solution, or AWD. And as the time progresses, you will see our services more and more integrated. Supply Chain by Amazon is one more way that Amazon is helping businesses of all sizes access big business capabilities. So again, there is a session on this afternoon, and I strongly encourage you to attend. Now, what is next for AGL? We have a few things just below the horizon. We will continue to work to deliver faster and more reliable services. We know this is very important for you, whether you ship full container load or less than container load, whether you ship sort or non-sort, and whether you ship to the West Coast or the East Coast or fast ocean or standard ocean. Doesn't matter what it is, we are passionately committed to make the service faster and more reliable so you can plan with confidence your supply chain. So when we give you a promise, we want to make sure we deliver that promise. And talking about promises, we're going to be soon launching a pay-what-you-book capability, which means that at the time that you create your booking, you will lock your price as long as you don't change the cargo ready date and the delivery date. That means that there is any market fluctuations, you already lock into that. So you will soon hear announcements for that. And I already mentioned earlier that we are working on building the capabilities for the future to evolve into a more regional inbound. So you will start to see new features launch on that. Starting in October, we are going to be expanding our pickup services in China. Currently, we have pickup services for our fast ocean products in 2 of the major ports. We're going to be expanding this to standard ocean. All our ocean services will have pickup, and we're going to make it extensive to all the major ports that we are currently using in China. So you will have a lot more ways to enable us to pick up your products directly from where they are being produced. And I'm also excited to tell you that we are going to be exploring new origins. So far, AGL has been very focused on the FBA business to ship from China to United States, United Kingdom, and Europe. And there was a reason of that. We wanted to make sure we get this right before we start scaling and spreading our products across the globe. But we believe that all the progress that we have made in the past year enable us just to do that. So in 2024, you're going to start to see announcements for us on new origins. We have heard a lot about Vietnam from all of you. So that probably will be our first place to land the new origin services. And while I don't have a clear date yet, you will see some announcements on that during the 2024 year. So I think this gives you an idea of everything that we are doing. And the most important thing that I want to let you know is regardless how much we have improved, we're going to continue to see improvements on our products. The team in AGL is passionately committed to make sure that we meet all your needs every single day. So please stay tuned on everything that we'll do. Now, let me just set the stage for the next conversation here. Mary-Jo is going to talk about the custom smart import strategies. And when I first met Mary-Jo, she told me this little insight into the custom world. She said that everybody in customs says that people that normally ship goods every day, they love to date multiple freight forwarders, but they only marry to the custom brokers. And I think what she was trying to tell me with this is that once you find a custom broker that is reliable, trusted, you don't let it go. So with that said, let me pass the baton here to Mary-Jo to tell you about all our great capabilities in the world of customs.
Thank you, Hernan. Hi, everybody. So I happen to be one of those East Coast consumers that Hernan was mentioning before, and I was excited to learn that AGL is going to bring your product to my virtual backyard. My family would like it to come right into the driveway, but we're working on that. But now I get to talk about something that excites me, and I think probably excites everybody in the room, and that's the customs experience, right? We all love that process. It does excite me. I'm a career customs broker for over 40 years now, but I know that even though it's exciting, I do know that it's difficult and it's complex for any business, whether you're large or small. Hernan mentioned earlier that we've heard from our sellers that 43% see that managing the supply chain is one of the biggest business challenges that you have. And 50% or so say that they do see supply chain, however, as an opportunity for gaining a competitive advantage. From where I sit, I see the customs process as part of the solutions to that. At Amazon Customs and Trade, that's the Integrated Cross-Border Clearance Solutions Team. Try and say that fast 3 times. The Integrated Cross-Border Customs Clearance Solutions Teams in AGL. We continue for you that unbroken supply chain, offering our sellers customs brokerage. By leveraging the data that we collect, we store, we transmit to the customs agencies, our brokerage aims to get your shipments through borders with a minimum of inquiries, delays, and costs. We make customs a part of your successful selling experience. So in order to appreciate that experience, let's talk about the customs environment for a second. Globally, the border agencies, notably the customs administrations, they are the ones that control what crosses their borders. So let's use the US as an example. In the United States, Customs and Border Protection is the single largest law enforcement agency in this country. Think about that for a second. These are the people that we're dealing with every day. Add to that 49 other federal agencies that regulate importing into the United States. You know many of them. There's the acronyms that Hernan mentioned, EPA, FDA, USDA, all those A's, and others. So we've got CBP, largest law enforcement agency. We've got 49 other people that might regulate your product coming into this country. We've got CBP enforcing over 400 federal laws. This is the environment we have to operate in, but it doesn't mean it's always just a bad story. This enforcement, as you know, happens every day with every product. It can happen before goods get here, it can happen right at the border, and it can happen after the fact, years after the fact. So if done improperly, importers, our sellers or importers to me, can experience delays, costs, penalties, and uncertainties. But there was ways, we think of them as strategies, for sellers to adhere with the government requirements, but find savings and efficiencies in the process. And I'm going to talk a little bit about those for a second. More than ensuring that your goods are cleared and on their way to distribution, which we get is super important, smart import strategies focus on turning that regulatory requirement to clear customs into some kind of business reward. If you have to do it, let's get something out of it, right? We want to find ways to bring value to that customs process. We want our sellers to find ways to reduce customs-related import costs, alleviate regulatory scrutiny, benefit from certain trade programs, while being compliant and cost-conscious at the same time. So smart import strategies, I've just listed a couple up here. I could spend all day talking to you guys about these things. But smart import strategies include, let's reduce the dutiable value of your goods. Let's identify the right product classification for your goods. Let's recover duty after the fact, if you can, or make sure we efficiently address any government inquiries that come up. We're very happy that very recently we launched the ability for your de minimis shipments into the United States to benefit from no duty at all. So if your goods qualify for what's referred to as entry type 86, we can get those goods in here for you with no tax and duty outlay at all. So sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words, or a couple examples. So smart import strategies include very often what we think of as proactive product classification. This means working with your manufacturers or your vendors to design, thinking of the design of your product and what the classification and accompanying rate of duty is going to be for that product. Just into the United States, there's over 19,000 possible tariff classifications. So that doesn't mean there's 19,000 different ways you can manufacture each one of your products, but that does mean there's multiple ways to look at a product. And maybe it's something as simple as putting felt tabs on the bottom of a pair of shoes that took that rate of duty for that footwear from 37.5% down to 3%. It's an extreme example, but I wanted to give you an extreme example just so it sticks in your mind and you go home thinking, what can I do about my product that might get me a more affordable rate of duty? Then once we know what that classification and the associated rate of duty is, what's the lowest value? I know value is a big topic. What's the lowest value we can get that rate of duty assessed against, right? So in Washington State, the base sales tax is 6.5%. If you went into the store tonight and you were going to buy a product, wouldn't you rather pay 6.5% on the sale price of something rather than maybe what the first price was? Same kind of concept applies to customs. There are costs or elements of your costs that we can, with a structured transaction, take out of that dutiable value. Maybe they're port fees, maybe they're foreign inland freight, maybe it's middleman markups. But there's strategies you can do to say, let me reduce that dutiable value of my goods. We want our sellers to be thinking, how can you integrate smart import strategies into your business activity so you can get something out of this customs experience? And at Amazon, we have integrated customs into your supply chain, helping to make managing your supply chain one link easier while gaining that competitive advantage that you told us that you wanted. Okay, but none of this is important if you can't get your goods here in the first place, and we got a solution for that too, and we have a speaker for that too. So I'm going to be turning the baton over to my colleague Eric, that's going to talk to us how it all comes together with our simple, easy-to-use booking and tracking experience. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mary Jo.
Welcome.
So we showed you some stats, and we've talked about it a little bit, that cross-border logistics can seem daunting, particularly for the uninitiated, maybe complicated, challenging, worrisome, for those who have even had some experience with it. And for those who have had a lot of experience, maybe a couple of other adjectives come to mind. But as discussed, AGL is going to deliver on reliability, speed, customs expertise, all at a great price. These are the four product capabilities that we focus on at AGL and that we aim to deliver every day. And we're continuing to invest in these to make each one of these better. But in addition, we're going to make it easy. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the simple and booking tracking experience that we've created. We are proud of what we are building for you in the seller journey. You'll hear a couple of themes from me: easy, convenient, flexible. And we're building all of this in a single portal on Shipper Central. We recognize that things change in your business. Demand changes, maybe the competitive landscape changes, production schedules change. We allow you to reserve your shipping up to 6 weeks in advance, and you can edit the details of your inventory at a later date. In addition, many sellers want to combine the shipments across their stores, and we can do that too. We think of the seller journey in 3 easy steps. First, generate a quote and select your ship mode. Complete the booking, create any edits along the way up until cutoffs, and then finally track your shipment. So we're going to look at those in a little bit more detail. Step one is the quote process. We call it shopping for shipping. You only need 6 pieces of information: origin, destination, cargo ready date, weight, volume, Incoterms. And that's on the first one. On the second one, we'll pre-populate half of these for you. And what does that look like? Well, we're going to give you options, and we're going to make those options easy to compare. So first, it's by shipment size, FCL or LCL. If it's a full container load, we'll calculate what type of container. And then you get to choose between delivery date and price, making the right trade-offs that are right for your business. On step 2, we're going to ask for customary information to finalize the booking and confirm the shipping. And again, on the second one, we're going to pre-populate up to 90% of the information to make things even faster. So across step 1 and step 2, to complete your booking, you can do it all in under a minute. Now, once you've made your booking, between that and delivery at the port or pickup, sometimes things change. It can change for a host of reasons. I highlighted a few of these earlier. As a side, AGL grew really fast. Hernan mentioned how large we've grown as a carrier. And the edit process, frankly, didn't keep up with our growth. And what we would find is sellers would actually cancel and rebook rather than move through an edit process. So not the standard that we hold ourselves to. But now making changes is easy. We've got a guided experience that walks you through step by step exactly what you can change up until cutoff dates. You can do it in real time, right online. And step 3 is tracking your shipment. We do this all in one place in Shipper Central. We're going to highlight the pressing issues. We're going to do it not only for shipments that are already underway, but for shipments that are upcoming. We'll highlight any documentation that's needed to make sure that your shipments get out on time. And we're going to highlight any pressing issues with regards to disruptions, whether it's customs or other port issues. We'll bring those to the top to let you focus on exactly what's most important with any of your shipments. And AGL is going to provide you visibility with first scan into the FC. So we've invested in the customer journey, your journey, to make it easy, convenient, and flexible. And we're continuing to invest. So in 2024, we're going to be building out an online document and communication experience where we're going to bring any offline communications all into one space. And we're going to continue to build out API to help you streamline your business even further. So we're excited about what's to come. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Hernan to finish this out.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, we are almost done. I'm going to just very briefly recap our session. Today's supply chains environment is becoming more and more complex, but it doesn't have to be that way. And Amazon Global Logistics is a unique shipping offer exclusively designed for Amazon sellers to inbound directly into the Amazon buildings and help you this way simplify the supply chain. Amazon Global Logistics is helping you reduce the complexity in 3 key ways. First, we can save you time. Our offer, reliable transportation and services help you save time by shipping directly from your suppliers into the Amazon networks. And you don't need to manage all the different parts separately. The second, we can help you reduce costs by leverage and more efficient supply chain. We offer Amazon sellers competitive landed costs, which includes all the services along the journey. So you know that you will not be surprised at the end of the shipment. And third, as Eric just explained, we can help you simplify your operation with a straightforward booking workflow where you can create and manage your shipments all in one place, including managing all the customs integrated solutions that we have in our products. Whether you decide to ship directly to the fulfillment centers or now you decide to ship to AWD, we are here for you. By focusing on these benefits and more, we have grown to serve more and more sellers over the years. As a matter of fact, right now, thousands of sellers are using Amazon Global Logistics, and the numbers are increasing daily. But we are not far from investing on your behalf, and we will continue to see improvements in our products. Simply put it, if it matters to you, it matters to us, and we are very focused on that. I'd like to really say thank you for the thousands of sellers who have continued to use Amazon Global Logistics, for the trust you have put in us on this very important part of your supply chain. And we invite those that have not yet tried our services or did so in the past to learn all the improvements we have made in the last year by yourself. Thank you very much for joining this session. We hope you have found it informative, and we look forward to helping you grow your business with Amazon.